Hello girls, gays, and non-binary babes. I am officially back. It has been what feels like forever. So, a quick life update in case you didn't know what was happening the past couple months. Well, the first month, I was preparing for my wedding and getting everything ready to go, all that. Then I got married, then I went on my honeymoon to Greece, and then this past weekend I went to the Eras Tour concert. I have not taken this shirt off. So yeah, life has been absolutely insane recently, but I think it's gonna start slowing down now. Maybe. But I was so excited to get back into filming, and so here I am today. And of course, how else could I come back from my honeymoon in Greece other than talking about some Greek retellings? I rediscovered my love for Greek retellings. I always have loved them, but I really got into them about a week before I went on my vacation. I picked up a book from the library that we will talk about later, and it was so fantastic. I got so into it that I just had to read more. So I have quite the list here today. Some I have read. There's a couple that I haven't, but I wanted to include them anyway, just for funsies. So yeah, we are actually gonna start with the book that kind of kicked off this newfound love, not newfound, rediscovered love of Greek retellings. And not retellings, but I don't have a copy of it, but Greek myths. So that book is Clyde Nestra. I can't remember who this is by, but I didn't know anything about Clyde Nestra before I picked this up. The name sounded kind of familiar, but I really didn't know who she was. And now that I've read it, I am absolutely obsessed with her. So if you didn't know, Clytemnestra is the wife of Agamemnon, who lots of people seem to like, but was not a very good person at all. But anyway, this book tells her story from pretty much beginning to end. I think it covered a lot, and I think it was only like a little over 400 pages, so it wasn't that long, but it covered a lot of material, and I really just fell in love with her. And when we went to Greece, I actually wanted to go to, I don't know how you pronounce it, I believe it's Mycenae. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I wanted to go there to see, which was where in the myth she was the queen of. And it ended up being like an hour-and-a-half drive away. We did not have money for an Uber for that, so we did not go, unfortunately. But I just became so obsessed with her. So I really loved this book, and I think it's amazing, and it has really good reviews overall too. I think it's really well done, and probably one of the best Greek myth books I've read. Next, we're gonna do kind of like a tiny haul in this video, because I did pick up 4 books when I was in Greece. We went to a bookstore recommended to me by somebody on Instagram. Saw that I was in Greece. They are from Greece. Well, I was in Athens. They are from Athens. And I asked for bookstore recommendations. And they sent me to this one bookstore that had a display of Greek myth books. So I had a heyday. I bought 4 of them, and 2 I have read, 2 I have not. So I will talk about the ones that I have first. The first one is Atalanta, and this one I was actually reading on my way to Greece. I had a library book of it, and I ended up picking it up because, one, I love this cover, and I love like the big paperback books. So yeah, and also I was really liking it, and I wanted to have like a little something from Greece, so I bought 4 little somethings. This one, obviously about Atalanta. She was the only female warrior aboard the Argo, I believe it's called. Yeah, she was the only female Argonaut, and this tells her story, believe it or not. For those of you who don't know, the Argonaut was a ship that sailed with Jason at the lead to go and get the Golden Fleece. They also had a book there, honorable mention, called Argo. So if you're interested in that overall story, I would probably recommend it. It seemed good. I haven't read it, but it's there if you're interested. This one specifically is about Atalanta and her story. She was raised by Artemis, and her, I can't remember what they're called. They're not goddesses, like her followers. I can't remember what they're called. And it's feminist in a different way. It's, a lot of things are like, feminism is like sticking it to the man and all this different stuff, but sometimes feminism is sticking it to a woman and deciding what you want to do with your life and not playing by their rules. So I really liked this one. I think it's really good, and if you're interested in the Argo story and want to learn more about the only female Argonaut, then here you go. I don't know of any other ones. This is also by Jennifer Saint, who also wrote Ariadne, which is another good one, but a lot of people know about that, and like that, Circe, and the Song of Achilles, I'm not including in here because everybody and their mother has heard of them, so yeah. Next, I read Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. Natalie Haynes wrote something. I can't remember what she wrote that I have read before, but 1,000 Ships. I don't know what that one's about. I haven't read it. Want to read it, but I haven't. This one's about Medusa. It doesn't necessarily follow her entirely. It is from a few different points of view, and I believe it's from the point of view of her. What's his name's mom? What's his name? Perseus. Perseus's mom and somebody else. I can't remember who, but there's like 3 points of view. So it doesn't entirely follow Medusa, but it does entirely follow her story. And it gives a few different points of view of that happening, which I think is really nice. I really like that aspect. I know a lot of people went into this thinking it was solely Medusa's point of view and all of that, but it's not. And I think it made it better. I think more points of view in a story like this are really fascinating, and especially with Greek myths, there's like so many sides to everything that it's just really fascinating. And I really liked this one. I did like it a lot more than, I can't remember the author's name, but it was just called Medusa. Short little book. I read an arc of that. I wasn't a huge fan of the writing, but I would definitely recommend this one over that one. I just think this one's more well-rounded, fleshed out, all that good stuff. So yeah. The two that I got that I have not read, I'll just give you a little glimpse of them and kind of what they're about. The first one is Psyche and Eros. This is a love story, and I think that's so cool. Like, that's such a basic statement. But a lot of the time we get Greek myths that are, you know, all fighting and war and bad things happening, but this one I'm interested to see how it goes in the form of a love story. Very excited. Know nothing about it, so don't ask me if it's good or not. Last for this section, Ithaca by Claire North. This one, don't know anything about. Let me read the back. This is the story of Penelope. That's why I picked it up. This is the story of Penelope of Ithaca, famed wife of Odysseus, as it has never been told before. Beyond Ithaca's shores, the whims of gods dictate the wars of men, but on the isle, it is the choice of the abandoned women and their goddesses that will change the course of the world. Ever since I read the Odyssey, I have been obsessed with Penelope and so intrigued by her, and when I read the back of this, I knew I had to get it. I knew I wanted to learn more about her and read her story. So I am very excited to get into this one too. Just under 400 pages. I just know this one's gonna be good. I can feel it. I'm really excited to read this. I love Penelope, and I'm sure a lot of other people do too, so I figured it was worth mentioning. And next we have another Jennifer Saint book, which I don't think came out recently. I thought it did, but maybe it didn't. And that is Electra, which is another daughter of Clyde Nestra. Can you tell I really like Clyde Nestra? This one was really good, but having read Clyde Nestra right before this, I really did not end up on the side of Electra. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I was like, maybe sometimes we should listen to our parents. I'm on the side of Clyde Nestra every time. Like, she's almost always in the right. This book did kind of shift my perspective a little bit, but overall I think it didn't do a good enough job of making me want to like Electra. But that could just be because I read Clyde Nestra right before it and I was already on her side. I loved her, I was rooting for her. But yeah, this is told from the point of view of Electra, Clyde Nestra, and oh, what's her name? Cassandra, who was the prize that Agamemnon took after the Trojan War and brought back to Mycenae with him. And I think this story worked so well together because we get 3 different perspectives that all kind of revolve around the same story, but are all individual and can stand alone in their own right. And I think that was really fantastic. I think it was really well done. I'm just not the biggest fan of Electra in this book. Like, I like her. Like, she's likable, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I did really like this book. I think Jennifer Saint's an amazing writer, and I will read anything she puts out. So yeah, I had to talk about this one. So that is going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other recommendations for me, please feel free to give them, because I love Greek myths and I'm always looking for new books about them. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to be back, and I will see you in the next one.